Old Predator, new Predator. You know how you can tell the difference? What's going on, guys? Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the all-new Adidas Predator 19.1 in the launch Initiator Pack colorway. If you're at all familiar with the Predator 18.1, you'll notice that these look quite familiar, and that's because they are virtually identical. Longtime Predator fans were pretty upset when Adidas brought the Predator name back, but included no leather, no rubber striking elements, really none of the elements that made the Predator line what it is today. And the Predator 19.1 kind of just digs the knife in a little bit deeper versus what they initially did, because they now have a new generation that is hardly new at all. There are some very minor changes, pretty much all of them just being cosmetic and having nothing to do with performance, but because this is technically a new model that we're going to be seeing probably for the next 9 months to a full year, it's worth going over all of the details, including how they fit and feel on feet, which is what I'm going to be doing in today's video. So if you want to learn more about the Predator 19.1, please stick around and watch. And if you are by chance interested in a pair for yourself, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen, or you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $225 retail price. If you guys do end up enjoying this brutally honest review, don't forget to support it with a like. And if you are new here watching for the first time and aren't subscribed already, be sure to hit that subscribe button along with the little bell notification so you get notified whenever my next new video goes live. If you are already mad about this new generation of Predators, prepare to be very angry. Included with the boots is the same black and white Adidas box, and then inside you get nothing. They took away the string bag. Same price, no string bag. I think most people would agree that when a new model comes out, you expect there to be at least minor improvements made. And in the case of the Predator 18.1 and Predator 19.1, as you can very clearly see, there really isn't much of a difference between the two at all, with two key things being the main difference here. They added a piece of rubber to the heel, and they've increased the weight of the boots. Longtime Predator fans have been asking for rubber elements back on the Predator series, even if we're not going to get the leather, and they've technically done that. They've just put it in a spot that is pretty much meaningless. Yes, the rubber does add extra grip on the ball for back heels, I suppose, and you can see that it does have this interesting ridge texture, and I think cosmetically it actually looks quite cool, but it's basically just that, a cosmetic element. I guess if extra grip on your back heels is important, there would be some benefit to you upgrading from Predator 18.1 to 19.1, but aside from that, it's just a cosmetic difference and nothing else. When it comes to the weight, with the Predator 19.1, the upper is the same, the sole plate and stud pattern is the same, the internals are the same. The only thing they've done is added a rubber patch to the heel. So in a size 9.5 US, the Predator 19.1 weighs in at 8.6 ounces, which for comparison's sake, a Predator 18.1 in the exact same size weighs in at right around 8 ounces exactly. So you're talking about a 0.6 ounce weight increase between 18.1 and 19.1 for two boots that seemingly feel pretty much exactly the same. I'm not sure where the extra weight comes into play, but if you needed to know, the 19.1 is technically heavier, although it's not really an amount of weight that I would say is super noticeable on feet. Other than those two things, there is legitimately no difference between the new Predator and the old Predator. The upper, as you can see, is still made entirely out of prime knit. Same thing goes for the area across the top of the foot, extending into the collar. Those areas, though, are elasticated. You can see that it now has these little black stripes running along the actual ridges of the textured upper. It's the exact same ridge pattern, no difference there whatsoever. And if you're wondering if this black is actually some kind of grippy material, not the case at all. It's literally just black paint. Somebody took a Sharpie to these before they sent them out, and that is what they look like. The prime knit, though, is still very, very soft. It's on the thinner side, which I personally don't think necessarily fits the theme of a Predator, but it's very comfortable. It does have that sock-like sensation, and it provides a nice feel on the ball. Again, it's just not really a Predator type feel in my opinion, but that was kind of the theory about the Predator line in the first place. It was essentially just a takeover of the Ace line that was nothing like past Predators. They just rebranded it. Either way, you're gonna find that it also has the same control skin top layer, which is basically just a polyurethane like you're gonna find on pretty much any knitted upper, but essentially no extra grip on the ball. Of course, this is the 19.1 and the 19 Plus, so it does have prime knit through the midfoot as opposed to forge knit, meaning that's a little bit thinner, but of course it adds a lacing system, which personally I just think makes for a better overall fit, feel, and performance type experience from this particular boot versus the 19 Plus. If you're asking my preference between the laced and laceless variations of the past or current Predators, I always pick the 0.1 variation. I just feel like the lacing system adds so much more to the experience of the boot. I find it more comfortable, they're certainly more responsive, and having that extra adjustability, in my opinion, is extremely important, but it ultimately does depend on what you like/want. Moving to the rear, like we talked about, they added a rubber piece to the back that you will not notice when wearing the boots. And then unlike the Predator 19 Plus, which seemed to have a slightly extended collar, this seems to be exactly the same height as the regular Predator 18.1 that it replaces. So no major changes there. It's still an elasticated prime knit. It looks very cool, but is basically just there for looks. There's no ankle support to be had from this, just a cool looking design. And then internally, it's the exact same synthetic suede liner with a bunch of extra padding, no changes whatsoever. The insole is of course fully removable and is lined in this very, very soft material. And then of course, unlike the 19 Plus, which gives you the boost insole that feels just like this one anyways, you get a regular foam insole, as you'll find with just about any top-end model from the Adidas brand. And then moving to the base of the boot, you're gonna find that it utilizes the exact same control frame sole plate construction, which does extend into kind of a mini heel counter there at the back. It's got a nice thickness to it, a fairly solid feel overall. That's not bad by any means, but as I've talked about many times before in regards to the Predator 18.1 and 18 Plus, I just feel like the sole plate doesn't necessarily match the very natural sock-like flexible sensation that you get from the prime knit upper on this current generation or even previous generation of Predator models. So it's not bad, I just feel like it's a little bit too stiff for the upper. Some people love it, some people don't like it. I'm one that personally just doesn't care for it all that much. As far as the stud pattern is concerned, that remains unchanged as well. And it's pretty much the exact same layout you'll find across the entire Adidas brand, with some minor variation in regards to the shape of the studs, depending on where they're positioned. It has more of a conical feel as far as traction is concerned, rather than true bladed studs that are gonna be a little bit more aggressive. So if you like that extra bite when pushing off, this doesn't necessarily provide that. But again, it's not really being marketed as a speed boot. It's got a nice solid underfoot feel, and I think the traction for most people will be perfectly fine. So as you can see, I swapped out the stock red laces for some black reflective SR4U replacement laces to go along with all the black accents that you find on the boots already. I just feel like it gives them a little bit more of an aggressive look, and it makes them that much more unique versus everyone else that's inevitably gonna have the exact same colorway. So if you are interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. There'll be a little pop-up on screen as well as a link down below in the description. So if you're interested in a pair, be sure to go ahead and check that out. On feet, unsurprisingly, the Predator 19.1 feels pretty much identical to that of the 18.1 that it replaces. There are no changes to the fit that I would say are noticeable whatsoever, but the boot as a whole still fits really well. And again, when comparing the 0.1 and the Plus laceless model, I really feel like the laced variation of the Predator, whether it's the previous or current generation, is definitely the way to go if you're looking for the best possible fit, as well as just better comfort. I know that some people don't like a super tight fit, but just the way that your foot gets secured inside of the 19.1 versus the 19 Plus, I just find to feel a lot more normal, a lot more natural, and just a lot more comfortable in general. My heel doesn't feel like it's constantly slipping out. It just has a much more locked in feel and a more one-to-one connection, if that makes any sense. As far as the upper is concerned, the prime knit is very, very soft and sock-like. The sole plate, like I mentioned earlier, I still think is a little bit too stiff given how soft and thin the upper is, but it does get the job done, and it is something that you will get used to. Overall, it's a really clean fitting boot. It's not particularly wide, which I think a lot of people probably would expect from the Predator line. So as far as width is concerned, as long as you don't have super wide feet, I think these will fit most people, although they're a little bit tighter in the forefoot and toe box area than I think most would expect. And then as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing these in my usual size 9.5 US, and the fit and length is pretty much perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. So in conclusion, the Predator 19.1 is in fact a solid boot that I can recommend. If you like the Predator 18.1, you're going to like the Predator 19.1, and that's because they're exactly the same thing. I'm pretty well known at this point for calling out different brands on dumb performance gimmicks and all kinds of strange marketing claims, but very rarely, and it's a common criticism in the comment section of a lot of my videos, do I call out a brand for being lazy. I really don't think that laziness as far as design is concerned is something that we actually see all that often from big football boot brands like Nike and Adidas. They would be the two biggest ones. But in the case of this new Predator generation, whether you're talking about the 19 Plus or the 19.1, this really is true laziness. They have essentially given us the exact same product with a very, very minor refresh as far as the look is concerned, but realistically, had this come out as a Predator 18.1 in the Initiator Pack colorway and not a 19.1, really we wouldn't suspect anything. Yes, they added the rubber thing on the heel. It has nothing to do with performance. They could have easily done that on an individual colorway. Nobody would have known the difference, but somehow they have justified to themselves that these Predator 19s are all new and we should be excited about them. If you have the Predator 18.1, stick with them. I wouldn't necessarily recommend upgrading because you can get the Predator 18.1 in all kinds of different colors below the normal retail price. Probably 2 pairs of Predator 18.1s for the price of a 19.1. So stick with those if you really like them. Otherwise, there really isn't any reason to upgrade. Anyways, guys, that is it for my review. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to support it with a like. Again, if you're interested to pair these for yourself, you can click the first link down below. That'll take you to the review page on my website where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $225 retail price. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down below in the comments and I'll do my best to get an answer out to you as soon as I possibly can. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next one.